Hello, everyone. Peace, peace, peace. I hope everyone is well. Welcome to the full moon in Aries. This is the astrology reading, as you can see on the video. um, we have the chart up there. You can see that red triangle in the center. That's known as a grand trine. So it's hitting three angles, and we'll talk about that soon. Okay, so let's get into this. We're going to start off with where the moon is. So we're going to look at Aries over on the left, and we see Aries is in the 12th house. So look for the number 12. Aries is in the 12th house of Pisces, and this is very emotional for Aries, being in a house that belongs to a water sign. So in looking at the chart and my notes and wanting to give you guys, as always, the best reading for this area. Okay, so the full moon is going to be on the 24th or the 25th, depending on the area where you are. Okay, so the moon is a full moon at 1952, which is 7:52 p.m. But it goes into Aries at 4:04 p.m. Okay, so there's two different times when it's a full moon and when it actually shifts into a particular zodiac sign for 3 days or for 4 days, or three and a half days or so. Okay, so, and there's something else too. You can focus in on when the full moon is a full moon in your location, but if you also feel an attachment to another country or another place in the world, location, you can also tune into that time for your meditation or whatever you choose to do. Okay, so for Aries, you have the full moon in Aries. You have Chiron in retrograde. Chiron is all about healing oneself, the effort to heal one's own wound, but can heal others. Okay, you have the 12th house issues, which have to do with your dreams, your spiritual life, any kind of self-sabotage practices you do, anything that is self-gaining, Aries, anything that has to do with being alone, anything that has to do with building up anything, a business, an institution, it deals with that, and seeing through things for what they really are. So every Aries is going to have a different experience for the full moon. So you'll notice what you might need to work on in your life. But it's a lot of 12th house issues, along with the process of healing yourself, making yourself better to handle your personality, meeting up with another person's personality. Okay, and when it's the full moon, there's a lot of energy, and everyone can benefit from the full moon in Aries, where you are working on the true essence of Aries, of thinking about yourself, the I am energy. What's good for me? Where am I going? What do I need to do? It is the I am energy. Okay, so this is the issue for Aries. Okay, now we're going to move into Aquarius. Not Aquarius. Let's move into Taurus. Okay, so Taurus has the first house issues, is in Aries house. So Taurus is going to think a lot about themselves. Okay, and you're in the ascending part of the chart. So this is for the Pacific Coast reading. Okay, I usually say at the beginning. So this is for anyone that is in this is mainly for like the Las Vegas area. So if anyone is in the West Coast area, but you definitely want to check the chart for your area, but you can still benefit from hearing this, so that when you apply it to the chart for your area, you'll understand the houses, what you need to work on, the planets that is in your zodiac sign at the time of the full moon. Very important. Okay, So Taurus is in the first house, Aries house. It's all about I am. So Taurus, you're looking at yourself right now and you're trying to figure out, okay, where do I go? Who am I? Just really kind of reviewing, yourself, and to see if you're on track and where you need to be. So it's an I am energy. You're more aware of yourself. It's more self-awareness. It is your appearance to yourself and mostly to others. You want everything to look good, just like you want your home to look good. You want everything about you to look good. You want it coming from within and radiating that. You have Uranus in retrograde. Okay, so with Uranus in retrograde, it's all about breaking down any kind of barriers that is holding you back, or that has been holding you back. Anything that is really making you feel overwhelmed right now or in the past. Breaking down any traditional beliefs. And these traditional beliefs can be good, but for most of you, it's something that's bad. It's a bad practice that's been holding you back, that it's just, you've already been fighting it, kind of like, this is not good for me, this is not what I want. You're not needy and you don't like to ask for help, so you'll suffer alone. But right now, issues are coming up where it's not just only affecting you, it's affecting others, and it's bringing light to something that traditionally a practice that people will do, or any kind of practice that holds you back, hold others back, is now coming to light. And that's the Uranus, right? And you're going to be in the position right now for the full moon and days leading up to the full moon, and like 2 days after the full moon, where you'll be in the spotlight and people will be looking at everything that you're doing. So when you're in this area of the chart, the ascending part, you want to really be careful of what you're doing as an Aries. Okay, that's for Aries birth sign and for rising, and the same apply for Aries birth sign, and if Aries is your rising sign as well. Okay, now for Gemini, you're in the second house. Okay, so you're in the second house and there's not much going on in your house, so you'd normally look over to Sagittarius, and Sagittarius has no planets as well. So you'd look at second house issues, which is I have your own personal resources, looking at the skills you have, the actions that you've taken in your life in regards to how you live your life, how you earn a living. Everything is just really you focusing on issues that is like Taurus issues, really. And if you look in the Vedic astrology, Geminis are referred to as more of like a Taurus. Okay, so for that zodiac sign, so you're more looking at how you can ground yourself and how you can better yourself, looking at the things you have. What will you keep and what will you get rid of? Okay, so this is a very important time for an air sign to really get earthy, to get grounded, and to say, you know what, I'm an air sign. We're all these different elements, but we really have everything within us. So, and with that said, every zodiac sign is different because you have a different birth chart. You have all these different makeup that make you you, and not only just astrology, DNA, everything, spiritual path, all of that. But as a Gemini, you're feeling really grounded, and especially if you are a Gemini and you have the zodiac sign for the full moon is in a prominent part in your chart, like your north node, your moon sign. If your moon sign is Aries, Gemini, if your rising sign is Aries, yeah, that's a big one. If your north node is Aries, so those are the three. So if you are a Gemini and Aries is your rising sign, your north node, or in your moon sign, these are powerful positions to know. And if any of you have Aries, then this full moon is a big one for you to really look at your chart for the full moon, what house your sign is in, what planet is in your sign, and your opposite sign. Okay, so for Gemini, it would be Sagittarius. So if I don't say your opposite sign, just look it up online and know it, and then watch the video again and see what that is. Okay, so a lot of second house issues, and you'd look over to Sagittarius and you'd see the eighth house issues, which is sharing your resources and dealing with death and life, and just understanding the struggles of life, everything that has to do with life, and really making peace with that. But we'll get to Saggy in a little bit. So then we go to Cancer, and Cancer is a lot in the third house, and Cancer is in a position where you are having things come up that has to do with the unconscious mind. Okay, and you have a lot of issues to deal with, maybe like your lower self, and yourself that is just not aware of what's going on, or just not really looking at things for what they really are and really tackling them, because it can be quite strenuous, it can be stressful. Okay, you have third house issues, which is dealing with a communicative mind, like I think, a lot of thinking of things, a lot of learning and communication. How are you being honest with yourself? Are you being honest with others? And being in the IC of the chart, okay, you have to deal with your subconscious mind a lot. Okay, you have to deal with anything that has to do with growth. Okay, growing, any kind of individual issues where you are really not working on what's keeping you behind, and your communication with someone else, you're more focusing on what they're doing to hurt you, that you're perceiving that. And it doesn't mean that you're wrong, but what can you do to better yourself and better the situation, and not have it just be in focus on someone else and what they're doing to you. So flip it around and really think of your unconscious mind and the things that you choose to ignore. Okay, and then work on your communicating with yourself, and communicating with who you feel is important for you to communicate with. Now for Leo is in the North Node. The North Node is in Leo, and this has to do with your life purpose. So it's a lot of questioning yourself on, you know, where do I need to go? What do I need to do? Okay, am I on the right track? Am I making the right choices? Am I reacting too much instead of being more relaxed, and then dealing with the situation as they come up, and finding the best way to handle conflict, and make sure that you're expressing yourself in the best way possible. Okay, and really meditate on that. Okay, so, and then a lot of Leos are thinking of where they should be in their life. So being that the North Node is in retrograde, you're perceiving that you are not as successful, or you are not as achieved as you are, but you really are. So make sure that whatever is going on in your life, or whatever you're feeling, for some of you, it's hard for you to turn that chapter. And I've been feeling that a lot. If you watch the past videos, it's like turning the chapter and really finding a fresh new way of expressing yourself. And a lot of you have, but some of you are kind of holding on to the past too much, and then you're missing what you can actually do right now. Okay, because every day you're reborn, every season in the year, every year you're like reborn again. You can be fresh and brand new, and you're the master of that. You're in the fourth house, right? So fourth and fifth house. So for some of you, you'll be dealing with fourth house issues like self-nurturing, the home, your private life, your inner world. Others will be dealing with how you express yourself to others, how you show love to your children, your friends, having fun, your romantic partner, how to be creative with the people that you love. Okay, so for some of you, it's fourth house issues, fifth house issues. So make sure that you look up what these houses mean, and then you'll know how to apply it to your life. Okay, so you'll see it pop up like, oh yeah, I am experiencing that. How can I better that, right? So we're moving on now to Virgo. Virgo is in the fifth house. Virgo has no planets, okay, for this location, but a lot of fifth house issues. So romance, fun, children, creativity, your own personal creativity. So for a lot of you Virgos, if things aren't going good, and even if it's going great, you're ready to turn the page. But if things aren't as, going as well as you would like it to be, and I'm looking to see if you're in the mix. You're not in the mix. Okay, for the triangle. No, you're close to it though. So you want to think about, how can I serve? Okay, so you're thinking, how can I help someone else? How can I be of value to someone else? How can I help someone else? And it's really helping you. So you're going to really, and you're gaining from it, because you're happy already, but you're thinking, how can I help make a situation better? And the most important thing, when you're in the fifth house, make sure that you are, because when you're in the fifth house, you're in Leo's house. So you're really getting a lot of power out of this, because that's another dominant, powerful sign in their house. So you can get a lot of inspiration at this full moon, and being that is also in a sister fire sign to Leo's house, okay, Aries. So you can really, at this point, you can really, if you want to meditate on creativity, you can come up with, there's nothing new under the sun, but you'll come up with an idea that will be very original to you, that's not happening right now. So watch out for a Virgo that's going to do something that has never been done before. And I hate to say never been done before, because nothing is new under the sun. Okay, because there's a point we didn't have any cameras to record anything, take pictures, all of that. But I'm sure someone has done a lot of the same things that we have done now, and I'm thinking of good things, not anything, freaking negative. But, Virgo, this is a great time for you to manifest. And with this grand trine energy too, it's going to be really good, because it's also happening in Capricorn, which is another sister brother earth sign, but we'll get to Capricorn in the grand trine. Okay, so now we're going to move to, and thank you to all the people who are writing down the time for each zodiac sign. I really appreciate you, and I click the love on that, so that really helps us YouTubers, because we can't do everything. We have a life too, but thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so then for Libra, okay, Libra, you are in the sun sign, so this is going to be started, this is like Libra's birthday. Okay, so for all the Libras, what is it? So for all the, give or take, the 23rd of September to the 22nd of October is Libra, and today's the day after the fall equinox, so yay. Okay, so you have, Libra has the sun, and Libra has Mercury, which is all about communication. So you have Mercury, which is Gemini, okay, your sister brother air sign. So Libras are going to be in a talkative mood this full moon. You're going to get a lot of inspiration, a lot of ideas to get things done. This is great. You're in the sixth house, and it's the I serve house. Okay, you're in Virgo's house, right? You're in Virgo's house. So you're getting all that grounded energy as an air sign. So this is a great time to really write down plans and get ideas that will really help you as an air sign. Because as an air sign, you're so creative, but you can come up with so many things that you can just get, your mind can just be like, whoa, and you need like a fire sign or an earth sign to just keep you organized, So, and to keep you there, and you just manifest it. If you're a true air sign, it's rough, but you're creative. But if you can have some grounding element there within your chart, that's great. If you can have people that care about you to help guide you, then that's great. But if you leave an air sign to themselves, and usually it's usually a Gemini, it's not usually a Libra. Libras are have more balance, but with a Gemini, if they don't have that love and support around them, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so the sixth house is all about I serve, your daily life. So for some of you, it will be stressful if your calendar gets full. For others, with work and the service to others, and dealing with work first. Work can be overwhelming, so you're gonna have to find a way to deal with that. Any issues with work can be overwhelming because you're in that earth kind of house. Health, any health issues that come up, really take it seriously. Service, helping others, okay, that will have to do with work. Self-improvement, any way that you feel, or inspiration that you feel that you can improve yourself, really take that on and do it, okay. Scorpio, you are in the feeling more private, okay, feeling like you just want to really be to yourself and think, but you have Venus and you have Jupiter in your chart, which is very powerful, and Taurus can benefit from this too, because Taurus, you're in the first house and there's not much going on, so you might vibe off of Scorpio, which is feeling like you want to expand. Scorpio, you feel like you want to, how can I better myself, how can I do better, what can I do? You're going to feel a lot of that. Venus, you're going to feel more like, how can I make myself look more physically beautiful? How can I take better care of myself? How can I love myself? And it's the physical beauty is great, but then how do you feel about yourself? Because once you feel good about yourself, you're not going to worry about what other people think or say. You're just going to do the best you can. You realize everyone's doing the best they can. You're going to want to fight for your love. You're going to want to fight, and hopefully not in a negative way, but fight for your self-love, but fight for, if you're in a relationship, fight for that too, okay? So you're going to want things to work out really good. So the fight for it is not in a negative way, it's more of making it better. So maybe having like a special, if you're in a relationship, create that special mood, that special moment for the person that you're with, okay? A date night at home, something like that. And for ones that are not focusing on love so much, then you want to see, how can I make my life, myself better? You're in the 7th house of partnerships, so you really want to make sure that your relationship is actually going well. That should be your main focus, whether it's relationship with yourself or with your partner. So you want to have privacy and make sure that if there's any drama there, you want to really exclude outside noises and really work as a team and figure it out. Sagittarius is in the 8th house, like I said before, so you're dealing with a lot of understanding of sharing resources. If you live with someone, it's all about how are you balancing this out, and when do you move out, or it's really self-survival, of what you need to do. Will you have a roommate? Will you still live with this person? When are you going to leave? It's dealing with that. You're in Scorpio's 8th house, so you're dealing with sex, love, letting go, dealing with death, letting go, moving forward. So any issues like that, other people's money, if someone owes you money or you're getting money coming in soon, any finances, if you're living with someone, that money issue can come up. Okay, if you're dealing with a loss of a loved one or any kind of grief, or understanding life and death and really trying to deal with any kind of stress in your life that recently happened that has to do with a loss of a relationship, a loved one, or anything like that, you're dealing with those emotions will pop up at the full moon, because the full moon deals with the water and the tides of the ocean. We're made up of liquid, of water, so we're affected. The earth is a part of the moon. They're like brothers and sisters, so it really pulls and affects us. So we are affected, okay? Components that make up the moon also, it can be found on the earth, so it's like we're a part of the moon. The moon's a part of the earth, so we are connected. So it's going to affect us, and whenever you're in the 8th house, it's really a time to understand life and experiences in life and making peace with that, where it doesn't stress us out so much, okay? Sagittarius. So okay, so then Capricorn is in, you have a lot going on. Capricorn has Saturn, okay? Capricorn has Pluto, so Pluto is in retrograde, and also part of the Grand Trine. Okay, so it's a lot of transformation and change, and having power, and how do you deal with your power, and how do you express yourself in this power, okay? This video is long. I didn't expect to be this long, but that's okay. so the Saturn energy is how can you be responsible for yourself? How can you take on this responsibility, Capricorn? And you're an earth sign, so this is really powerful for you. It's like, how do I protect my energy? Okay, how do I protect myself? Okay, and you're in the seventh house, so it's, am I saying that right? Ninth house, excuse me. You're in the ninth house, so you're dealing with education, maybe people who are not as conscious as you are. Okay, so there's a lot going on for Capricorn that's coming in right now. It's like dealing with people who are not clear about themselves or life issues, or just not aware, not on your level of understanding. You have to deal with people like that. You also have to deal with protecting yourself when it comes to dealing with work or a relationship, making sure that you're not overextending yourself, or that you won't get blamed for something that you initially didn't start, but you're a part of it. So you have some responsibility there. So looking to Saturn for boundaries, restrictions, and guidance, and also really being tough and dealing with not only your issues but other people's issues and behavior. Okay, so you really have to put up that wall of protection, and the Saturn energy is the correct energy. Okay, and you just have to, people just have to understand it. So you're gonna have to make sure that you protect your energy, you protect yourself, and you're in the ninth house. Okay, of expansion, of traveling. Okay, I was right. So it is Sagittarius's house. Like I memorize it, but sometimes I'm like, am I sure? So you're in Sagittarius house. So it's all about exploring and travel. Okay, so it has to do with a lot with time too, and timing. So any issues that has to do with time and timing, where there is some kind of conflict or argument about time and timing. Okay, so, and that Pluto energy of transformation and change. Okay, and the energy of people taking you for real or not is like, are you valid, are you not valid? So there's a lot of miscommunication, misunderstanding going on as well for a lot of Capricorn. Okay, and the ninth house issue of traveling, of time it takes to do things, of higher education. And for a lot of you, it's not just going to college or school or something like that, but it's the intelligence of the people that's dealing with you, or the awareness of people that you have to deal with. Some people are just not aware, or they're not experienced, so they think a certain way, and this can cause conflict. So make sure that you have documentation, you write things down, because the ninth house deals with publishing, but on a more serious note, it's more of having proof of what is and what is not. Okay, so then Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius is in the south node. South node is retrograde. So south node is about either past life experiences that you have, and now you're reincarnated into this life, and really, what do I have to do? What do I need to focus on? Some of you might feel a little hiccup, get rid of self-doubt, get rid of blaming yourself for things that you feel you didn't do, you did do wrong, whatever, right? So this south node energy, let's look at first past life. So lessons that you need to learn in this life for yourself. Okay, that's what you need to focus on, is like, why am I here? What do I need to do? And it's a lot of soul searching. Study your birth chart, and just and understanding your birth chart, and understanding you. Astrology is great and everything, but what do you want to do? Okay, what are you here for? And that's for all 12 zodiac signs. What's your purpose? What are you here for? Right? And then you have Mars, so that fighting energy. So if you have any issues from the past that's coming up now, where anything legal for some of you, looking at things that need to get taken care of. And make sure that you check all your paperwork. Make sure everything is on the up and up, so that when one thing pops up that's a pain, really double check everything, like go through everything, make sure everything is okay. You have Lilith also there, so how do you deal with chaos, any kind of conflict, anything that pops up, any kind of judgment, people not understanding things, rumors too. You can think of it that way. Anything that's just not clear, okay? Misunderstandings, things like that. Now, for some of you, it's 10th or 11th house issues. So the 10th house issues would be your achievement, your outer world, how you look to people. For some Aquarius, it might be that people might find out something about you that they might not like. Okay, career, your status in life, your purpose in life, you taking power of your life, the power you have over other people's life. Okay, the 11th house issues could be your aspirations, what you contribute to others, to groups, organizations, society, your friendship, your goals, your aspiration, any kind of groups that you're a part of. So issues with that. Okay. And your meditation could be the positive, flipping it to the positive for that, because I'll do a video on meditation for my other channel. So you could watch that if you like. Okay. So it's what's happening in your chart, and then how can you flip that for the positive. Now, I think I did past life for the South Node. Now, past relationships, whether it's a love relationship or friendship, family, whatever, relationships, right? Those three different categories, groups. So any issues with relationships with people, if you don't believe in past life, then it's relationships. So relationships even with yourself, but with your children, your siblings, your romantic partner, your friends. So nurture these relationships, or any issues that come up with that. How do you heal that for the South Node? Dealing with past relationships. So it's dealing with past life, past relationships. Okay, so the South Node, I wanted to cover past relationships, any issues with that. Pisces. Okay, Pisces has Neptune retrograde. So Neptune, it's you looking at your own intuition, really trusting your intuition, trusting yourself, trusting your dreams, trusting any kind of illusions, things that might not be real, or things that you need to create. That's an illusion, but you need to manifest it in this plane, in this dimension. Okay, how can you manifest that? And you're in like a Aries full moon, so you can really, even though you're water, you can warm it up. You know, give yourself that heat, that adrenaline to, you know, we all have to learn how to work with the elements. Okay, that's very important. So as a water sign, how can you work with heat? Okay, how can you use the full moon in Aries to help your third eye, open up your third eye? How can you work on all of your chakras? How can you work on all of your emotions? Because that's what it really is, right? It's the first ancient therapy, psychology. For me, I believe the chakras are that, because each chakra, it deals with an organ in the body. It deals with a particular type of emotion, a thought, a way of thinking, a belief, right? So you're just working on all these different levels, right? You're working on these levels to bring yourself up to where you need to be in this life. So how can you use the meaning of Neptune in astrology, right? So maybe flipping it, okay? It's in retrograde, so things are not what it seems, or you need to take your time a little bit slower in dealing with the meanings of Neptune. Maybe look at it a little bit slower, take your time with it, okay? Your intuition, trusting yourself, your dreams, any illusions, anything that comes up that has to do with Neptune for you, look into it and see how can you use that, how can you better yourself. It's the 11th house issues as well. Okay, so a lot more 11th house issues than 12th house issues. So focusing on a lot of 11th house issues for Pisces. Now let's look at the grand trine. So this is what I wrote down. Okay, so let's get it. Okay, so Saturn is in Capricorn, an earth sign. Okay, so with Saturn there is how can you work towards what you want, because Saturn gets things done. Either it's restricting you, or it is guiding you, okay, or it's giving you that strength that you need, that boom, strong energy that you need to get things done. Okay, so we have that Saturn energy. Okay, then in Capricorn as an earth sign. So let's follow me on this. Earth, Saturn, what you need to work towards, okay? Then you have Chiron in Aries, fire sign. Chiron and the moon, okay? You see that at the bottom of the triangle, Chiron and the moon in Aries. Healing, okay? Boom, healing. This is how I'm interpreting it, okay? Now, Libra. The sun is in Libra because we're in Libra season today, the 23rd of September, 2018, okay? The sun is in Libra. Communication. You have the sun and you have Mercury there. Communication and air sign. You're working with earth, fire, and air, okay? Very good. No waters here, okay? Earth, fire, and air. You're dealing with Saturn, Chiron, the moon. You're dealing with the sun, and you're dealing with Mercury. So for this location, this area, and every area is going to be different for that grand trine, okay? But for this area, it is communication, dealing with the Saturn issues that's happening on the earthly plane, and you're in Capricorn, and Capricorn is all about the matrix, about how we deal in this dimension of earth, right? So restrictions, helping you, a taskmaster, karma. Saturn deals with karma, a taskmaster, you know, getting things done. It needs these restrictions sometimes. Sometimes it could be overbearing or it could be wrong, but certain restrictions gives order. It makes things work, right? So this Capricorn is like corporation, business, people that hold power, right? And then you have now, you have Chiron and the moon in Aries, and that is like a fire element. That's like I am number one. I'm thinking of myself only, okay? And you mix that with that Capricorn, that company, that power, right? And then you have Libra, which is all about, you think of balance, court, justice, right? And the sun sign and communication. So when you're dealing with Libra and you're dealing with, like, say, law, balance, and communication, it's like a fight of company, of self or selfishness, but it doesn't have to be in a bad way, but it could be used in a bad way. And then law. So it's going to be this full moon, and the 2 days after that is going to be like, right now, what is it, Monday and Tuesday. You're going to see what happens on Monday and Tuesday, and that big shift is going to create that energy, especially on the West Coast, of communication and what needs to be worked towards, and the healing that it needs, or the healing that's not happening, okay? Because of that Chiron energy, it's like a reverse understanding of healing. It's like all this conflict over healing. What's the best way to heal? This is the best way it's like a conflict. So you can look at all of that earth, fire, and that air, and just seeing how they can work together. Now the fire and the air works very well together, and the earth is there, so it can be a positive grand trine, and it's an opportunity of healing, okay? But with the Chiron in retrograde, that's the only thing, is the argument of what's the right way to best handle the situation. But Saturn's going to get it done, okay? And the communication of the sun is going to get it done, okay? So that's one way of looking at the grand trine. But this is the opportunity for self-healing, but also healing on a larger spectrum, okay? So we'll see what happens with that. But thank you guys so much for watching and for your comments, and happy full moon in Aries. Peace.